Now, typically, I would have made the video 1636 to match that number in the sequence. But this is going to be shared here. Now, the reason why I pick this number will fade or build up into the closing meditation. But for now, let's look at the Bible verse that has a word that equals unto this number. And we only have one example of this, and that is Acts 24:14. The word means serve. Letteruo. But in the Bible, we have two verses that equal this number value. Now, without sharing the ancient Aramaic, Aramea as they'd call it, rather than Biblical Hebrew or something like that, which we say nowadays, but we have Obadiah 1:2. And Obadiah comes after Ezekiel, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. But in your typical numerology, I'll go into that. Some people are going to say it's about accepting yourself and others. That it's about beginning financial attainment. That it is about goodly things being overlooked too much. It's about allowing yourself to be taken care of and relying on yourself as far as possible. It's about alleviating guilt and shame. It's about becoming through something that is unknown at the time. It's about self-referral. And the first verse in Tanukh, or the so-called Old Testament, that has the number value of this will be 2 Samuel 18:18. Now Absalom in his lifetime had taken and reared for himself a pillar, which is in the king's dale, for he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. And he called the pillar after his own name, and it is called unto this day Absalom's place. Now, we can look at this in context. We can look at other words associated with it. But how are you the pillar? And remember that in the tarot, the 18th is the moon. And the 18th numbered trump would lead you to, I'm not going through this as smoothly as I would hope. But there's a lot of things that one can do with that verse. And in English gematria, there are some interesting ones, and it's, instead of positivity, it kind of centers on the negative as far as what I've seen. And so all it does was get him caught. Shenanigans in the shadows. Abomination of desolation cuts off. Abomination of desolation cut off in spirit. The two soulmates Nothing wrong with polygamy if it's consensual and all that. But there's more to soulmates than just, just a nicer way of saying the word lovers. The loving shall inherit the earth. How long has this been going on? Reveal the true Antichrist, whether it's good or bad or whatever the deal is. Jerusalem restoration. Hopefully restoration from its secular overlords, right? Who is liable for all this bloodshed? Those being connected kind of fits in good, doesn't it? Churches are run by Satanists. Again, is that some sort of good thing or bad thing? Or he is Lord of the heaven and the earth, as opposed to the Christian idea is that Satan is basically ruler of. Do I look like I play games, you fool? I'm not a wandering star. Christian extremist groups, which, as opposed to what some might want you to think, it's, more common than other faiths and the terrorism and stuff. But, as I said in my other video, I know better of Christians and Christianity to just have that as the whole thing. The powerful altar. Who brings the end of Satan? Well, Satan just came to an end. It's, might not be what one would think. I mean, what? We all have to endure the consequences, but Satan just gets put to an end? Christ excessive in sin. The alphabet is symbolic, literal. Numerical. The honey witch. I wanted an easy life. Don't we all? To recover souls. Literally erasing. Kill. Destroy. Hellbent. On conquest. Oh, hellbent on conquest. So all kill, destroy, hellbent on conquest. Nothing is fun anymore. Use your third eye. Literally erasing all their souls. To recover souls. Owl made of steel. Illuminati confirmed, right? Because the Bilderberg group. But anyways, the Bilderberg group, or no, not the Bohemian Grove. They're not Illuminati. They're different. Caught unawares. Forgive and live. Gematria, law of nature. Nobody knows. Violent situation. World's ugliest dog. That's an idea for a TV show right there. Pitch that one. You have my permission. There is a code to creation, and that is interesting. Oh, I accidentally. 4 moons over Israel. Police are never corrupt. That's a lie. The 7th trumpet. USA in slavery. The voice. Biblical apocalypse. While you can. And I think that's it of what I have there. Of course, Guar is the Enochian word that gives the translation of 1636, there are different ways that people, oh, there's number values for Enochian, and I don't remember anything with that number value at the time. There could be. So put that in the comment, or put any other thing that you associate with this. But before I go into the scripture of this age, let me say what Obadiah 1:2 says, because this has 1616 as its number value when you look at it in Aramea. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Now, pagan and heathen aren't appropriate words, and I will condemn such use for them, but this is that's how Christians think, and that's what their Bible's going to say, for words that apply to them, like gawim, which comes from guya, and guya means to turn your back on God. So, and there are other such terms here. And, you know, before I end up erasing this, which I've accidentally erased some of it, let me share verses of the scripture of this age. Now, the 1600th and 16th verse of Al-Quran is going to be 1288. 1288, okay? And again, if you want to expand on any of these things, just look at them in context. Put your own analysis of the particular things that I bring up, the letters and the numbers and all that associated with that. Symbology is like that. It goes towards your own means, but فَلَمَّا دَخَلُوا عَلَيْهِ قَالُوا أَيُّهَا الْعَزِيزُ مَسَّنَا وَأَهْلَنَا الضُّرُّ وَجِئْنَا بِبِضَاعَةٍ مُزْجَاةٍ فَأَوْفِ لَنَا الْكَيْلَ وَتَصَدَّقْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَجْزِي الْمُتَصَدِّقِينَ. And when they came before him, they said, O ruler, misfortune hath touched us and our folk, and we bring not but poor merchandise. So fill for us the measure, and be charitable unto us. Lo, God will requite the charitable. So even when doing business, a level of humility is going to be important to consider. So, Surat al-Nahl, ayat 36, because 1636 is going to be one that we probably should share now, shouldn't it be? We have لَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا أَنْ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ فَمِنْهُم مَّنْ هَدَى اللَّهُ وَمِنْهُم مَّنْ حَقَّتْ عليه الضلالة فسيروا في الأرض فانظروا كيف كان عاقبة المكذبين. And we raise in every nation a messenger, serve God, and shun the false gods. Things aren't really God. Tagut is kind of like a word for Satan. I'm not going to go into anything terribly specific about it, but it's kind of like a Satan. An obstinate rebel, basically. Then some of them whom God guided, and some of them upon whom error had just hold. Oh, then some of them... Okay, I said that. Do but travel in the land and see the nature of the consequence of the deniers. And so, God guides everybody, right? Or whatever you call God. That's what I mean, is that whatever is actually God guides. Plenty. The book of ourselves, the book of nature, the book, in general, and the book that comes through these messengers. But we're not guided unless we choose to be guided. So in that way of speaking, but in the noun way of speaking, but in the verb way of speaking, not all are guided, but in the noun way, we all are guided. So it's something that happens in English language. But let's have a little Enochian meditation. So I'm going to say a word for God. Is with all, is of abundance. And I use this to preface my Enochian meditations. And let's see if I or you have an experience. And I'm going to say this name 19 times, which to the count of 6, so 114 times 19, or and you can just expand on that or whatever. Yond, 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 yond. O you sons of fury, the daughters of the just, which sit upon 24 seats, vexing all creatures of the earth with age, which have under you 1636. Behold the voice of your gun, the promise of him who is called amongst you fury, our extreme justice. Move and appear, show yourselves, open the mysteries of your creation, be friendly unto me, for I am the servant of the same your God, the true worshipper of the highest. Narame Pagli Paspas Oi Anders Trent Mirk Ombol Thil Dans
Tolham Kaska Hamindas Brinnarak Kar Mikmabealoyan Aerotox da Sivamai Bautim Zakarad Zamranada Kikreka Zorgelap Zero Nokaman Huarieda. I have felt a rumbling deep inside, like square, dark blue, cubical lumps in between the rows of stones, and brown speckles upon the altar, leading up the altar. Kind of like the Enochian letter Q above the altar in purple. It rotates to form a chalice filled with violet. There's a sense that this is to be drunk. I feel fluttery. It wiped down me. Bluer in the room. A bit white to it. But the white within it is not so uniform. Somewhat like an X. And that fades with the pulsing pink and purple coming down in a cone towards the cup that you do not see. My heart rate is returning to normal. The tingliness is fading. I feel more awake and energetic. But what do you have to add to these numbers that have appeared before you, that have appeared before us? How do we direct the message as a sage instead of being controlled by alleged symbolism of numbers such as 1636? Since I did an Enochian meditation, Fitharzi Vom Sarg. Peace be upon every one of you.